But I haven't told Elvie yet.
Why, Rachel?
It's not made convenient. We want them to pursue their careers and dreams.
We can't live in the past.
I'm sure you're all very excited.
Parents are raving about it.
It is the ultra solution.
I can't do it with the pod in here.
What are you talking about? It can't see us.
Maybe I'm just not ready to be a mother.
We are considering having a home birth.
I'm sorry. It's not possible.
I won't raise this child without nature. It's so exciting, isn't it?
Things are evolving.
Your family dynamics are about to undergo tremendous changes.
How can we make sure our baby's not bored in utero?
Oh yeah, we don't want any bored babies.
Hello everyone, appreciate you visiting the Caption Media channel, and I hope you have a good time here. I want to talk about The Pod Generation, a contemporary sci-fi romance film. I'm just going to give you a review without giving away any surprises. So let's get going. The Pod Generation attempts to make lofty statements about our world and the politics of women and workers' autonomy, while also being a sci-fi satire and a future dramedy. However, apart from slick technological innovations, it has a limited amount to offer. The movie is a cryptic expression of a very obvious thesis. When told by Sophie Bart, the tale of a couple having a pod kid is transformed into perceptive and moving comedy about the limitations of technology, luxury, and the inhumanity of having it all. The Pod Generation by Bart presents a stunningly built, futuristic society with contrasts between sterile corporate buildings and rustic natural reserves, yet the tale is never as fascinating as the aesthetics are. Clark hasn't got many opportunities to play complete characters in films. The Pod Generation tries to make amends, but fails only because it overthinks it. We have Bart's flawless, eerily plausible vision of the future, one that we should fear and avoid. But she has made the movie so emotionless that we are unable to involve ourselves in taking action to stop it. The universe and concept are intriguing, but some way it feels the film suffers from not focusing on one subject and exploring it thoroughly. Bart doesn't create a gloomy film, instead she aims to lighten things up with her cast and a light-hearted atmosphere as she explores workplaces, natural settings and psychological regions while presenting a multi-layered portrait of humans facing difficult situations. Without feeling pressured to provide a predetermined set of solutions, Bart poses concerns about feminism, gender and the use of technology. The Pod Generation has a sci-fi Twilight Zone episode feel to it, but with more humour. Although Clark is great and the world building is unique beyond doubt, the story itself lacks heart. It takes a very sarcastic view on pregnancy and our fixation with technology. By the time Bart's stalled sociological exercise finally starts to poke at the more intriguing features of this theme, indulgence has long since vanished, leaving a sour aftertaste of frustration in its place. Though it challenges how humans interact with and depend on technology, this feminist-leaning sci-fi movie falls short of exceeding expectations. The film is all bark and little bite, even though many of the subjects are deserving of serious discussion. The Pod Generation is a tender and innovative film that occasionally falters, but is boosted by superb performances, clever humour and original world building. It starts off strong but quickly loses steam owing to repetition and a poor finale. You can tell that the cast members' acting skills are utilised throughout the film, but there are a few places where they fall short of expectation. The closeness of their relationship was convincingly shown by the principal performers, but it's difficult to understand how they feel about the environment they're living in, and consequently about, perhaps, today. The Pod Generation ultimately feels a little bit too cluttered to be as effective a parody as it could be, because it's so jam-packed with connected concepts that occasionally feel like they're jockeying for attention. The plausible science adds to the universe that Bart has created, developing an overall sense of immersion. The Pod Generation is a humorous science fiction story that examines the nature of birthing and parenthood through the lens of dominant technology. Although it contains a lot of concepts that are ideal for drama and satire, the execution is uneven and ultimately unsatisfactory. Technology, gender roles, modern parenting, bodily autonomy, ownership and feminism are just a few of the intriguing topics this blunt-edged satire attempts to cover, but it falls short of creating a cohesive, thought-provoking whole. Even though it's played mainly for laughs, this story serves as a warning about favouring science above nature. The decision to not fully realise its potential, despite the pod generation's excellent visuals and wealth of ideas, may have ultimately damaged the film. The third act of the pod generation offers a cathartic release from such corporate control, but the movie could have and should have been angrier and more vocal in its stance towards the world. What makes Bart so fascinating is how strongly she maintains the question of whether these means are justified by the objective they reach, together with some of the real benefits of a hassle-free world and its equally fundamental defects. Bart makes some really interesting points, so it's a shame that the pod generation doesn't quite work out. Would people adopt this technology if it was available? If so, to what extent are we willing to compromise the environment in order to advance it? Should we tamper with biology simply because we can? The relationship between Rachel and Alvy is the primary focus of the pod generation, which also examines how technology affects our closest relationships and poses issues for a society not unlike our own. The world building is extraordinarily innovative. The key performances are strong and the production looks fantastic. You just wish that the movie could more clearly express its message, or at least live up to all of this on a thematic level. Although the pod generation has admirable goals and concepts, you can't help but feel there is something lacking, the perfection that should have been adhered to. The film does not move smoothly, especially the execution, which falls short owing to its lack of well-developed plot and difficulty to establish whether it's a comedy or a sombre drama. The pod generation could have been a devastating critique of technology versus nature, but it falls short. There are undoubtedly some intriguing concepts and illustrations of what a future dominated by artificial convenience and intelligence may look like here, but nothing challenging enough to have you thinking too far beyond the theatre. The pod generation, which is supported by realistic, irony-free performances and a strong supporting cast, raises more questions than it answers, but they're undoubtedly the right ones regarding the future of our troubled relationship with technology. It plods along on a contented, peaceful wavelength. There's no question that this is thought-provoking satire, but it's just created with a too light a touch, settling for an air of dreamlike placidity at the expense of any truly cutting social analysis. The substance itself isn't strong enough to support complex storylines. For a movie to succeed, it takes more than just a clever concept and a beautifully visualised vision of the future. And the battery of the pod generation is already down to about 1% after 2/3 of the way through. The vivid set design by Clement Price Thomas and Andre Parek's cinematography combines to produce a futuristic aesthetic which isn't entirely improbable, but that's probably all. And one of the many themes that the pod generation explores is technology and how corporate power seem to be working together to almost intentionally isolate individuals from one another. Anyway, to sum up, in this quirky but lacklustre science fiction comedy, babies are raised in enormous eggs. I'll rate this movie a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. Perhaps you enjoyed it more than me. Please leave a comment if you did enjoy the movie, or if you agree with my negative comments on it. Subscribe and don't forget to press the bell button if you want more updates. I'm leaving now, but I'll see you again soon. Cheerio.
I've been having the strangest dreams.
We got a spot at the Womb Center.
But I haven't told Alvy yet. He wants a natural child.
Let's do it, Rachel.
Really?
Yeah. My nephew was born at the womb center, but he doesn't dream.
I wouldn't worry about it. What are you talking about? It can't see us. I feel...
No one's a mother just like that. You become one. Buzz.
I'm sorry. It's not possible.
I won't raise this child without nature.
You do have a baby at the womb center, right?
Why?
What's going on?